Hello.
Jake Owen, how are you?
What, what's up?
Good, man. Such a fan of that Demold Love Songs performance, Jake. All weekend, just been jamming to it, and man, I that performance you did at the Kendell Merville's show at the Basement East.
Oh
I was
yeah,
I was there at that one. Love your arrangement of that, man. But how are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for saying that. I love that song, and obviously, like recording it with Shooter was a big deal for me because I was kind of nervous to, you know, ask him if it was okay to record a song by his dad because I wondered if
Yeah.
that's overdone or if it's kind of a tired move to ask. But he was really pleasantly surprised that I asked about that song in particular because it's kind of an more of an unknown Waylon song, but it is my favorite, probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite on the record, just from a standpoint of the performance. It's very honest, and I played guitar and sang at the same time when we recorded that song. And we just left the vocal as it was, so it kind of sounds real, and then Savannah on there sounds really great as well.
She does. And I want to ask you about Shooter in a minute, Jake. But, watching you do that performance, I was there in the room, a lot of people, many mutual friends of the show, everybody was there, industry folks. You're doing an all-time classic that everyone knows. Is that a nerve-wracking thing that you don't want to make a mistake a little bit, Jake? And how many times do you practice that song, like to feel comfortable?
Oh, well, I'm actually way opposite of that. I wasn't nervous, and I didn't really practice at
Mm.
all. Well, I didn't practice with their band at all. I just walked up there and played it with them. But I've always been like that. In a weird way, I'm way better when I don't think about it. If I think about it or I practice it 20 times, I don't feel like I'm good at it. I was that way in school too. I used to like never really study for tests because I was like, I feel like I've spent enough time learning this in school that I should know this. And then I would just wing it. And I didn't always win, but
Yeah,
definitely it's kind of my MO.
dude, that's a great MO. I mean, not recommended for everybody, but works for you. But what's amazing watching you play guitar, Jake, is I mean, is how good, how virtuoso you are, and you started relatively late. I mean, right? You started, I believe, 19 or something. You were 19, right?
Yeah, I was about, yeah, 19, 20.
Yeah. So you started like late after your golf injury that you've talked about. What do you think caused you, Jake, to become so obsessed with the guitar? Because from what I hear, you couldn't let it go at that age. Do you think that it was kind of like that competitive spirit from golf that was missing? Like what was like the inner drive there?
I think it was like the first thing that I could do that my dad couldn't teach me how to do it. I think a lot of kids, like, you want to fulfill your parents' desire for you to fulfill maybe dreams they had had. And my dad is an incredible, like, it's my best friend on earth. He was a great golfer. He's a great athlete. I think he wanted both of his twin boys, myself and my brother Jrod, to maybe try to chase sports or something in a more professional way. And I was pretty good. I mean, he gave me a lot of talent that I guess I passed down to me, and but I just never like loved it as much as I think he did. And it wasn't until I like picked up a guitar and started playing that I realized, like, whoa, I love this. And it's
Mm.
also something that my dad can't, like, at the kitchen table tell me, like, hey, you should try to, like, when you play a G chord, you should, like, we never but what I could do is I could learn a whole song that he liked and then go in his bedroom at night when he was watching, like, Monday Night Football, and I'd be like, "Hey, Dad, uh, what do you think of this?" And I'd play something. He would be blown away, and so it was
Yeah.
like my way of impressing my dad and making him proud of me was something that he couldn't show me how to do. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's fascinating. That's deep. So did your dad's like did his eyes light up, Jake? Like when you had a certain proficiency, like your family and friends, were they cheering you on like when they realized, oh my God, like my son's got it, like that moment where they were like, he's actually got it.
Um, yeah, I think there was a time where my family was worried about me because when I dropped out of college and moved to Nashville, they didn't know anyone. Like I said, my dad couldn't teach me how to play music because he didn't know anything about it, and
Right.
my mom didn't. So I was moving to a town. It'd be like telling your parents you're going to leave your little hometown in Florida and move to Hollywood to be an actor, right? You're like, sure, like that's really going to happen. So everybody kind of worried for me about that, but I think once I started getting a little traction, um, and my dad, I told him one day, I was like, Dad, look, you don't need to worry about me from a standpoint of knowing how to work hard
Mm,
because you already instilled that in me since the time I was a kid. So I'll always work hard. I'm not really worried about starving or anything because I can always get a job and make money, I guess, enough to get by. But one thing I told him he could be confident in is knowing that like the dream I'm chasing, I'm going to chase it just as hard as anything else he would have wanted from me because that's how he taught me to be, and that's really served me well throughout my life. Just
yeah.
kind of always not giving up, and that's gets us back to kind of the whole title of the album, which is dreams to dream. Like I still got them. I'm not, it wasn't like I just had dreams as a kid, fulfilled them, and then you're like, life's
Done.
over.
Totally, Jake. Now let's pivot to the new album there for a second. I mean, you mentioned Shooter Jennings produced the album. I mean, he's worked with everybody just this year alone with friend of the show, Lucas Nelson, with Charlie Crockett. I mean, so many. But Jake, how do when a producer is going to be a good fit? Not, I mean, he's going to be good and he's got the goods and all that and the reputation, but the good fit, like, because you just went in there, like, you knew it was going to work, right?
Um, well, yeah, I mean, I had the confidence it would work. I mean, there's a chance maybe it wouldn't, but it's kind of like music is a in a weird way is like a relationship. Like different people have different personalities, um and so making an album with Joey Moy, as I made before, was a way different type of date than making an album with Shooter, right? Like
Sure.
two totally different restaurants, two totally different types of vibes, so called. And I loved both of them. That's the great part about it, is like that's the beauty of music. It's a beauty of believing in things. I reference it to a relationship because, um, like I I've had a few in my life that necessarily haven't been like didn't work out to the end of time, but
Sure.
like for the time that they were, it was like an incredible chapter of my life, and it made me who I am like today. The same for that person, and I feel the same for my music. I feel like when I look back at the kid that was making Barefoot Blue Jean Night,
Mm,
uh, I definitely had the same morals and values as a human that I have now, but I just had different things that were important to me. Was like fun, young, feeling like this song's relating to my 24-year-old audience, and now I'm 44. So my songs I think are relating to those same people, but they now have kids like me, or
sure.
they've gone through a divorce
Divorce,
that
yeah.
that hurt. And like a lot of music, I didn't, when I was 23 years old, and somebody would have been like, "Hey, you should sing this song about getting a divorce." I'm like, "What? I've never been divorced. That doesn't like why I just want to sing a song to try to like what relate to somebody that has." And now, now that I have, I realize like damn, a lot of people will relate to me, and so I think that you have to live a lot in order to find your way in music. And I don't know if that answered your question about the
Totally.
differences of Shooter and others, but I just believed that Shooter was the right person for this time in my life, and it felt right.
Yeah. I mean, very well said. I mean, I love the relationship analogies. I relate to a lot of what you said. And speaking of relationships, you've got a really great relationship with your fans, Jake. And what I mean by that is not obviously just that they have been with you through thick and thin, but it seems like there's like a respect and a trust with your sonic evolution, right? Like you said, this sound is different, it's more evolved. And listen, a lot of artists that have achieved some sort of success would be afraid or nervous of making pivots like the ones you've made. But I think in a way you feel very comfortable and your fans kind of like love that about you, right?
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that. I'm lucky if I have people out there that feel that way, about myself and music. Because I've been a fan of lots of different people's music, and as a fan, you always want to watch the person that you admire like kind of evolve. But at the same time, too, when you go to a live show and someone's like, "Hey, here's some new music we've been working on. Love to play it for you." You can tell that like that's the lull in the show. Like
Yeah.
it's the show, it's the part of the show where people are like, "All right, we just want to hear like the major hits." So it's that kind of walking the fine line of giving those people you're talking about, fans of mine that love me, kind of what they like, but at the same time too, delivering them things that I like. And I think I've always done that. Like I've not always thought about just fans when I made music. Like I have to think about myself and what made me feel good in that moment. And I think if it made me feel good and I delivered it with passion, then people would acknowledge that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty cool to see the respect, Jake. Thanks for your time. Let me leave you with this, Jake. So I know you got a full day ahead. And by the way, Dreams to Dreams out Friday, November 7th. Heck of an album. Sorry. But Jake, let me leave you with this. Live performance. You are like one of the best. And one of the things that I love about you, and I love that like my heroes like Bono of U2 does them, and like a lot of these people is you're able to find these moments in the crowds. I mean, you can be playing in Columbus at the Ohio State Stadium to 60,000 people, but you find the couple that is about to get engaged. You find the veteran that needs the moment. And I'm always curious, Jake, how do you do it? How do you do it when you have a set list in your head, your ear monitors because the vocals are too low, but you're able to identify those human moments? Like, how do you do that?
Um, Thank you for asking that question. I think a lot of artists do that, not just me. But I think it's important. Like the reason you do that is like people aren't always there just for the music. They're not there just to hear the songs. If they wanted to just hear the songs at a concert, or if they just wanted to hear those songs, they could stay home and listen to them at the house or in their truck or wherever. But what I love about the ability to perform music live is the ability to connect to a legit, like another human being or human beings together, like all these hearts beating at one time in the crowd and for different reasons. Maybe so and so's heart over here is beating because maybe not, maybe it's because he's with a girl for the first time at a concert and he's going to maybe kiss her later for the first time. And like, he's like, he doesn't even care what song we're playing, but he's just excited that like the moment's there and it's a setup for, you know what I mean? Like that's what we all do as human beings. Then again, there's some lady on the front row who's been to 40 shows because she loves our band and loves like not just me, like knows everything about every guy in the band. And those moments that you're asking about, it's because it's important to me that they know that I see them. Like they're not just there for me to say, listen to me sing. Like I want them to know that like I'm grateful for their presence, and their presence there is what's giving me this like fuel in my tank per se to give them the best I can give them.
Beautifully said. Jake Owen,
Yeah.
you've said it all for today, man. Thanks for stopping by. Absolutely.
All right, buddy.
Enjoy. Take care.
Thanks for having me. See you, bud.
Thank you for tuning in. Click here to subscribe and get the latest from the show, including exclusive behind-the-scenes footage and once-in-a-lifetime performances. And as always, thank you for making Jrod Concerts Media part of your day.